Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Wednesday. It is Self-Care Wednesday. I thought maybe, hey, let's do the self-awareness cards today since I was so on track yesterday, but it's Self-Care Wednesday. So let's focus on self-care instead of self-awareness. We're all pretty clear on the getting into the vortex and getting into self-awareness. So if I have a different subject that comes up during the day, that is what we're going to do. I can't lie. I'm feeling a little magical right now. I had caffeine. Some people need alcohol. I just need caffeine. But I know I am typically a decaf person because of my cardiologist, but he did not say I couldn't have caffeine. So from time to time I partake, and I got like 2 bags of that looked pretty bad. I have 2 bags of Lion coffee from Hawaii that my cousin Jeannie brought me, and I don't think they come in decaf. So, but one's vanilla, one's chocolate, and today's the vanilla one. It's pretty delightful, I'm not gonna lie. So anyways, good morning, older siblings. So we're gonna do self-care today. Wow, that was fast. And then I have the Heal Yourself reading cards because I've been going through a lot of stuff myself mentally, clearing up the rest of the blocks from my 40s so I can enjoy my 50s. And yeah, so I'm also, you know what, this is just going to be one of those eclectic shows, you know, where we just, whatever comes up is going to come up. And brought to you and fueled by Lion Coffee of Hawaii. So no, that is not an advertisement, but boy, it is sure delightful. I decided to ice the rest of my coffee, so I drank an entire French press. By the time I'm done with this one, I'll have drank an entire French press of caffeinated coffee. All right, one more. All right, there we go. I knew there was one more that just needed to come. I know, I feel like there is one more that needs to come out. For those who observe, happy Imbolc. It's the midway point between the winter equinox and the spring equinox in certain traditions, and the feast of Bridget, well, in religion, but if you're not religious, then it's the goddess Bridget. So all right, let's get to, sorry, all of a sudden my nose got itchy. Ugh, forgive me. Okay. My nose, I'm so sorry. My nose is so itchy. All right, let's get rolling. Oh, right. Before I do the self-care cards. Oh my God, this is why I do not have caffeine very often. I mean, it makes me more adorable, but damn. I know. High confidence. So anyways, let's get to the morning mantras. I'm trying to do these every morning because I think they're really super rad. So, and thank you, older sibling, for giving them to me for my birthday. I'm super duper excited. Oh, it's a unicorn! So cute! People are gonna watch this and go, what the hell is wrong with her? I'm giddy. But you know what? I don't think it's just the caffeine. I think we can talk ourselves into things, right? Like we can talk, oh yeah, it's the caffeine. But I just think, I don't know. While I was downstairs drinking my coffee, I decided to forego the news and just watch YouTube. And I watched like 15 minutes of Hugh Jackman being musical. So I don't know, maybe that helped. But, like his top 10 moments on one of the YouTube sites. So anyways, today is a piñata full of unknowns. Time to crack that sucker open and pounce directly on the good stuff. My mind went where it was not supposed to go. Anyways, let me see. Hold on. Oh, I thought maybe it said something, but it doesn't. Today is a piñata full of unknowns. Time to crack that sucker open and pounce directly on the good stuff. Dun, 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 dun. I know everybody who's like, you really have to take off your glasses to see that close. People, I've been blind since 3rd grade. So just most of the time people don't know because I would usually wear contacts. But after COVID happened, I really kind of found a thing with my glasses, and now baby sibling told me, she's all, the glasses are kind of the identity of your show, so you can't do your show with contacts. And it's like, so of course I guess it's like Superman, right? You have a level of anonymity when you go outside wearing contacts. I don't know, but I mean seriously, look at the fabulous sunglasses I have. I really am all over the place today. And I'll be honest with you, that's not the caffeine. That's my brain. Which is why I decided not to go with the self-awareness cards, because I'm not sure I could really get them, going. I should have these turned into actual glasses. Seriously, right? I know, right? I got these for my birthday month, my celebration month. But I never ended up using them. Very Elton John inspired. But, I mean, who doesn't want a pair of fabulous sunglasses? I mean, hello. I swear I live on Amazon. I do. But anyways, you're not here to look at my sunglasses. You're here for messages. And I am a bit squirrely this morning because of the caffeine. But like I said, I think it just makes me more delightfully charming. So, and apparently confident. But anyways, so yeah, let's talk about this card. Okay, all right, today is a pinata full of unknowns. Time to crack that sucker open and pounce directly on the good stuff. Okay, so I struggle with change. I do. And I think a lot of it is, I don't want to talk about the things that happen, or always go back to this trauma-based time in my life. But here's the thing. Part of that is the reason why I would really kind of just try to chokehold and control everything in my life. And so when these wonderful unknowns come up, when these wonderful things come up and just, we see them. We choose to see them. We don't choose to ignore them. We don't choose to walk away. We look at it and say, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And, we kind of have to weigh, what's going on around us. Am I worthy of this feeling? Yes. We're worthy of all good feelings. What we're unworthy of are bad things, right? I woke up this morning and this was the quote in my head. And I don't know who I got it from, where I got it from, if I got it from my book of journaling, the Journey Within journal that my cousin got me, or if it was just something somewhere that I heard or what, but it was doubt kills dreams. Doubt kills dreams. And I thought, gosh, and then of course the first thing I do is start second guessing everything in my life. Start second guessing all the things that have been told that will come to me in the future or are arriving now. And it's kind of like, seriously, why do we doubt? We doubt because there's a part of us that we doubt because there's a part of us that just, I don't know. For me, I think it's because there's a part of acceptance of deserving to be happy. And there's a lot of people that I know, I don't want to say know personally, but know online, that struggle with the same thing, that struggle with deserving that happiness. And some of them have been beaten down for so long by nasty words from people who should be giving them kind words. Some of them have just been beaten down by life. Some of them just, their brain lies to them and they listen. Having a dinged up mental health is not for the weak. Seriously, it is not. It takes so much strength to get through. And I mean, it takes some days. The last week has been a struggle for me. And like I said, I can only imagine the people that have a worse mental health than I do. Because I do have a good support system. Because I do have, a lot of therapy tools in my belt. And, I think we don't often think about that. So when we have that piñata, when we crack open that piñata of unknowns, instead of jumping on it, a lot of times we run away. Right? It's like cracking open this, cactus piñata and all these spiders come running out and you're like, oh my God. But you might have that one person there that loves bugs, I forgot what they're called. And just like, ooh, how many varieties are in there? And that's really kind of what we have to do. We shouldn't be afraid of the unknown. I mean, think about it. Spiders are, for a lot of us, spiders are scary. But they're not running after you. They're trying to run away from you. Somebody just cracked open their home. Okay. And they're just like, shit, what do we do? And they run. Unfortunately, they're probably running in the same direction as you because it's like maybe they know something we don't know. So it looks like they're chasing you, but they're not. They're just as afraid of whatever is out there as you are. Think about it. You're like 1,000 times bigger than a tiny bug. Right? Who's really got the power there if you see it coming? I know some of them can be pretty dangerous. There are some crazy insects out there that can kill you. But, you know, I mean, modern technology has gotten pretty good at saving lives when it comes to that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, what if you cracked open the cactus and just all this beautiful juice, all this juicy stuff came out, right? Cactuses have juice. That's why a lot of the birds go in there, live in there. That's why a lot of the insects live in there. It's like its own little ecosystem. You know, in Arizona, they have a chocolate filled with, God, for the life of me, I can't remember what it's called now because it's been so long since I had it. But the inside is made with cactus juice, and it is amazing. You know, I mean, the first time I bit into it, I was like, oh, am I going to like this? And then it's like, oh my God, please make me stop because I want more. And I only bought one. Actually, I bought two, and I gave one to sibling because that was like, oh, she'll like this, you know, and if I don't like it, she can have mine. And I just chomped at the bit because she took forever to eat hers. So, you know, you never know unless you try new things. So, you know, like the piñata card says, you know, crack open the unknown and jump in. Jump on that opportunity. Jump on that new idea. Jump on that creativity. And don't let doubt kill your dreams. Don't let doubt kill your day. Hell, don't let doubt kill your moment. You know, if you're taking it one moment at a time, don't let doubt kill that. All right? So let's get to some mindfulness cards, and then we'll get to the Heal Yourself cards. All right? So this is not a reading. This is not Oracle Friday. This is Self-Care Wednesday. And I thought I would just do these. I thought I would just focus in on the self-care instead of the self-awareness, because the self-awareness always seems to go in its own little direction. So, and the way my brain's been acting up, self-awareness will be, each day will be TBD, to be determined. All right. So, all right, let's see. Number 1. So we had this last week, so I think life is trying to tell me something. Solo date. Every so often we're lacking in love for ourselves. Set a date in which you organize all the things you love to do. Treat yourself to your favorite food, drinks, and activities. It is important to foster a positive relationship with ourselves and treat ourselves with love and kindness. So again, every so often we are lacking in love for ourselves. Set a date in which you organize all things you love to do. Treat yourself to your favorite food, drinks, and activities. It is important to foster a positive relationship with ourselves and treat ourselves with love and kindness. So this is the 3rd week in a row, maybe more, but at least 3rd week that we've gotten solo date. All right. On Saturday, older sibling and I went to my favorite Italian restaurant in Studio City and in California. And Michelli's. I love this place. All right. We always call it Michelli's, but it's actually Michelli's. All right. So we just kind of Americanized it. But I love this place. I absolutely love this place. And we usually go for my birthday, but it was raining cows and pigs the day of my birthday. So we thought, let's not chance the traffic and, you know, apparently all the potholes that were opening up. And we decided to go Saturday. And while we were sitting there, we were the booth that we had faces out, you know, so you can see the people singing and just kind of get the whole ambiance of the area. And so for some random reason, all I did was point out and I said, oh, you see up there in that corner. And you couldn't really see the table, but I said, that's where I always like to sit when I take myself on at a date. And yes, I've taken myself on a date to Michelli's because it's a happy place for me, right? And it's just a wonderful kind of just soak it in kind of place. So whether it's a coffee date, you know, sometimes I'll go to the Starbucks down the street, get a coffee, sit outside when it's nice, and just, you know, doodle in my journal or something, or, you know, bring a book. And I will actually sit outside. You know, we could get the fresh air, get the wind. And to me, that's like another solo date. And so this is kind of our own self-care. Very, very getting in tune with yourself kind of self-care. You know, mapping out, you know, the paths that you want to take, just taking a breather from life and, you know, giving yourself that break, because again, doubt kills dreams. And I say that and you're probably thinking, well, that's kind of out of context, isn't it? It's like, no, it's not really out of context, because when you take yourself out on a solo date, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to clear your mind. you know, and because I'm single, every time I go out by myself is basically a solo date. But I do enjoy it. And, you know, I make sure that, you know, if I am going out to coffee or out to lunch by myself, that I do treat it like a date, you know, because when you really stop and think about it, you're with you your entire life. You cannot get away from you, right? You wake up, there you are. You go to sleep, there you are. You get in the car, there you are. So we're with ourselves 24/7. And it might seem like a silly comment for some people, like, well, yeah, of course we are. But there are people who do try to get away from themselves. They try to get away from their thoughts and their brain and just everything that feels like it's tearing them down. And I like the idea of a solo date because I think it gives us time to really kind of get back into ourselves. It is a lot about self-love, self-care, and self-awareness. You know, there are people who feel, well, I have friends that are like, well, I can't, you know, or I have a friend that texted me one day and said, you know, I took myself out today and I ate all by myself. And I was like, and how did it feel? They're like, it was weird. It was weird because, you know, but how many times have we gone, you know, my friend told me when I first started doing this, she's all started a fast food place. And I told her, I said, you're really able to just go and eat by yourself? She's like, yeah. She's all started a fast food place and then look around and tell me what you notice. And so I did, and I texted her later and I told her, I realized I was not the only person eating alone. There was a lot of people eating alone. And it's like, huh, I never noticed that. And there are times when, you know, people, when I do take myself out on a date, especially to Michelle's, where they'll kind of look at me and go, because I am by myself. And especially when it's a Saturday, right? Because everybody's either out with their families on a date or, you know, just out with their friends. And here I am by myself with a book or a journal. And I wonder sometimes what they're thinking. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I hope I inspire them to really kind of get back into themselves, you know, to remind themselves who they are, what they deserve. All right. So be present. Being present in the moment goes hand in hand with mindfulness. A good way to start practicing being present in the moment is to stop comparing the present with the past and to focus on what's good now. It might be as simple as being grateful for your morning coffee or the good weather. It's windy outside, but still sunny. It could also be as simple as focusing your attention on a task you're doing. Repeat this affirmation. I am exactly where I need to be right now. Now, I do bring up the past a lot in the perspective, but it's for context. It's for context. I have worked very, very hard on my journey in my 40s of moving away from the past. And it's been a challenge. It's been a challenge because I hid my mental health for so long that, you know, you just get into this mindset where you're just kind of sometimes in that survival mode, right? You're just sitting there going like, oh my God, you know, how do I get through this day and blah, blah, blah. And you kind of get attached to the old feelings that you know, that maybe you used and maybe served you at that time, that you needed to feel like, or you felt like you had to survive, like you felt you had to fake it till you make it. But at the end of the healing journey, that's where I got confused because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm here now, but I don't know how to feel because everything is so foreign to me. You know, it's like looking at the sky for the first time, right? Or, you know, I don't know. Or, you know, I think one of the best examples I can give, I have had two friends. One of them was Sissy and another one was another friend who had LASIK done, right? Or actually three friends, three that had LASIK done on their eyes. And it was interesting because each one of them, when they took off, you know, because you have to keep the thing on for, I think, like 12 hours over your eyes. So you're basically blind for 12 hours. And I don't mean that to be offensive. It is true. You cannot see. You have to have somebody with you because you cannot see. You have to keep these bandages on your eyes for like 12 hours. And at minimum, I think. And I remember I took care of Sissy when she had hers. And I remember the next morning she comes and she wakes me up. She's shaking me. She's like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And all she wanted to tell me was, she's like, I can see the clock across the room. I could see everything so clearly. Everything looks so different. And I mean, her eyes weren't that bad to begin with. But even when we have just a bit of distorted vision and you're able to clearly see without the help of anything else, it's a magical experience. And that's how life is. When we remove all the muck, when we remove that, all the darkness and all that stuff that we've been working through, that we've been wading through, all the bullshit, right? All the crap. Just that icky muck, kind of like in Shawshank, right? Where, spoiler alert, but this movie's over 20 years old. It's probably almost 30 years old by now. But, so big spoiler alert, when, Andy's crawling through that ick and gross stuff and blah, 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 just to come out the other side into freedom. Now, sometimes, I don't know what it's like to be in a prison break, okay? I only know what it's like to watch it in movies. But in Shawshank Redemption, which is what I'm referring to, to me, that's kind of what going through your journey and your darkness and healing all these things is all about. It's about not quitting. It's about playing the long game, if you have to. Not rushing yourself, not pushing yourself. Just waiting for that right moment where suddenly, you see yourself emerging and boom, you're free. And there's a level of freedom in that. I mean, I know you're free, but there is a level of just freedom in that. And, but because this person always knew who he was, he just went off on his business. But it's not as easy for all of us. Sometimes we get there and we're like, I waded through all this stuff and stuff, but now what? Which is one of the reasons why I'm going back to therapy, because I'm in that now what stage. And I'm figuring a lot more stuff out as I wait. I was chomping at the bit, but now I realize some of the things that I need to heal. And I realize, I'm making notes so that when I go in, there are things that they can help me through, help me work through. And part of it is because they're trained to, talk at my brain when my brain is trying to just deny me. And so sometimes we need that permission. We need that person to just kind of pull it out of us. Like a little string, kind of like in Harry Potter, right? Where he takes the wand and grabs the memory out of the head. So I know, and people are like, what are you, like movie day? So, here's my favorite one. Exercise. Movement releases endorphins in the body, which keep our minds and bodies healthy. Due to our busy lives, we often cannot find time to fit in exercise. Schedule at least 15 minutes of physical activity a day, where you focus solely on being active. When this is a part of your routine, it will become habit more easily. So here's the start. You go to work, you have a parking structure, park far away. Don't park right near the entrance. If you are not getting enough physical activity, do it. Maybe you're thinking, oh, I need to save up all this stuff, so I'm going to get up in 5 minutes and I'm going to go grab my pens from the supply room over here. I'm going to go grab my coffee from over there. Maybe I'll go to the bathroom. How about just taking time and doing each one? So you're adding these steps into your day. You're not just getting up and doing everything all at once and then sitting back down for 7 hours, right? You're getting up and you're moving around. You're doing things. Maybe, you print something. It's like, well, don't just sit there and wait for you to print 5 billion things. Walk there, or if you're, maybe you want to have lunch. So walk outside. There are so many ways that we can just fit exercise in. Maybe you're making dinner, put on some headphones, or you're cleaning, put on some headphones, dance around, do it. Dance in your room. I do that. My door closes and I'm just like, yeah. So, we can all fit in exercise. It doesn't always have to be regimented at the gym. Movement is movement. Dancing is movement. Yoga. My house is shaped really awkward, so yoga's not that easy for me, but it's really something I want to take up. And I started redoing the Tai Chi again, so that kind of makes me happy because it's movement. All right, it's good movement. So, seasonal mindfulness. At some point during each season, take the time to look at the color change in the leaves. Examine how nature looks and feels. Is it colder or warmer? What colors can you see? Being mindful of the changing seasons will bring awareness to the change and make you aware of how nature is adapting to the new temperatures and light levels. I think it's supposed to bring some kind of awareness. I know, that's pretty much what the card said, right? But I have friends that live in countries where the sun isn't always out. I have a friend in Canada that's saying, man, I can't wait till March. She lives in the eastern side of Canada. And it's like, yeah, I can't wait till March because that's when the sun will start coming out again. I really need the sun. They have what is called SAD, seasonal affective disorder. And I have another friend in England that struggles with the same thing, who's actually from California. And I don't know if they still do, but when they first got there, they did, because, you know, a lot of gray, right? And people always ask me, why do you love the rain so much? Why don't you love the sun? You live in California. Well, that's just it. We get sun all the time. And believe it or not, that can make me a little blue. So I wait for winter because that's when we get some kind of seasonal change. I mean, we basically go from like winter, have about a day of spring, and then it's summer. And then it's summer forever. And then we have like a day of fall, and then it's winter. And sometimes, I mean, this has probably been the coldest winter we've had in about 5 or 6 years. The last few winters, I mean, 2 years ago on my birthday was like 100 degrees. I know, right? 100 degrees. So in January. So just be mindful. Just be grateful for the seasons. The seasons control a lot of different things. I see you. I do. A lot of times when I post something on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram that seems, you know, that's really kind of touches me, I feel seen. And when I feel seen, I'll share it and I'll just hashtag in there, I see you. And it's so important for us to see people, because a lot of times we do feel invisible, or a lot of times we want to be invisible, but maybe we don't want to be invisible, if that makes any sense. It's like, please don't look at me, but I wish somebody could see my pain, or I wish someone could see my struggle. You know, the very first time I ever took myself out on an actual solo date, you know, like when I, not just a fast food place, but actually took myself out to a place filled with people at restaurants. Most of the tables were not single. I think I was the only single person in there. I mean, not single person, but the only person going solo at a table. And I even told them, I said, you know, when they went to seat me, I'm like, well, you can seat me at a 2-seater over here by the kitchen. It's fine. I'm just here really for the ambiance and blah, blah, blah. And they're, no, we'll put you up here. And they put me at a table for 4. And, you know, I think maybe some people are like, seriously? But, you know, I didn't care where I sat. I was just happy being wherever. You know, and I didn't mind being up in the corner, and I still was kind of near the kitchen, but it was fine. You know, it was kind of neat watching in there and seeing all the work that's being done and really having that experience of noticing everything around, noticing all the hard work that goes into making this place a functional place. And the first time I was just like, people just kept looking at me to the point where I actually switched from having my back to the kitchen to kind of facing it, because all these people are just kind of looking at me, and I don't know if they felt sorry for me or what, but the next time I took myself out, I ended up back in the same, I asked for that place. Actually, somebody was sitting there, so I ended up at the table behind it, but I'm just sitting there and, you know, just again, enjoying it. But this time I didn't care. I didn't care who looked at me, you know, like, because I have an incredible resting bitch face, which might also translate into, I just look sad, which I don't. You know, it's my face. It's my resting face, you know, and I might be journaling. I might be doing something, and you never know what someone's feeling about your situation or your moment, or, you know, whatever's happening to you in that instant. So don't worry about it. But when you do see someone hurting, let them know that you see them. Okay. When feelings of stress, anxiety, fear, or anger come over you, do not look away or try to deny them. Instead, welcome the feelings, and let them pass over you. Say to the feeling, hello, old friend, I see you. You do not have control over me. Recognize the feelings, give them less power over you. So again, hello, old friend, I see you. You do not have control over me. Remember, doubt kills dreams. So whenever you feel that doubt coming up, just say, hello, old friend, I see you, but you know what? We need to break up. And sometimes doubt might still come knocking at your door, right? It might say, hey, I'm here, I miss you. And you can just say, yeah, you know what? I'm not ready to have a relationship with you again because you're toxic and I need to set boundaries. And the more you do that, the stronger you get. And eventually doubt will turn into hope. You know, doubt will go off and it will do its own work on itself because you're doing the work on yourself. And it might return as saying, okay, I get it. So let's do this together. And you're like, okay, I'm glad that you're hope and trust and faith now. So we can be friends again. All right. Your mantra. Print or write out a poem or mantra that you'd like to reflect on regularly. Keep it in your wallet or phone case so that it is always accessible. When you are in a state of non-mindfulness, it is difficult to remember the things that keep you grounded. Carry it with you as a reminder. Now, maybe it's a long thing and it doesn't fit in your wallet or your purse or your back pocket. So this is where I believe talismans come in. Okay. And a talisman is a great symbol of reminder. You know, a lot of people see it as a symbol of strength. And that could be your mantra. You could say, hey, you know what? This thing on my keychain reminds me of this poem I love so much, or reminds me that doubt is a dream killer, or doubt kills dreams, and, you might pick this talisman up. I don't know. I'll pick up something random, like this. Actually, no, I'm wearing it. So baby sibling gave me this for my birthday, but it came very late. So I actually got it around Halloween or Thanksgiving. And I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's an infinity symbol with an arrow. And whenever I put it on, I always make sure the arrow's facing up, because it reminds me it does get better. It does get better. So a lot of times I'll wear this when I'm really not feeling, into myself. And it's become a talisman for me. It's reminded me, you are strong. Good things can happen. So if you don't want to carry that piece of paper around, put the idea into something that you will see all the time. And you can use more than one. Maybe you have something at your desk and you're like, oh, well, I put my keys away, so how can I see it? Well, you can put something on your desk that reminds you of that same thing. All right. Find a new perspective, but keep watching my perspective. When having negative feelings, close your eyes. Visualize the thoughts as an object. Write down how you could move the object. These do not have to be practical. For example, if you see the problems as a black cloud, visualize the cloud levitating away or being blown away by the wind. Looking at the problems from another perspective enables us to separate the problem from ourselves. You can focus on removing the obstacle more easily. Now, it says these do not have to be practical. So if you're feeling like, oh, hi, black cloud, there you are again, but you're having trouble moving it, right? You're having trouble making the wind show up in your mind to blow it away or make it dissipate. Why not lasso it? Why not ransack it? Or not ransack it. Why not just, grab a big sack, make yourself bigger than that cloud, make yourself giant, and then just put that cloud in a bag and throw it away. Imagine a trash bag. Or, like I said, you can lasso it, and do a hog tie on it. When it says not practical, that's exactly what it means. Not practical. It doesn't have to be practical. If there's an intention, a manifestation, or a prayer that you want to send up, and you're struggling with saying, are they hearing me? Are they hearing me? Wrap it in a balloon or a bubble and just let it go. Visualization can be so powerful, and we don't give it enough credit. So if you have that problem, if you have that struggle, if you have that doubt in your head, turn that doubt into a cloud and blow it away. Squeeze it together so it gets rain, because rain makes things grow. Rain makes things blossom. Make it your bitch. Okay? So, and it's your vision. You can do whatever you want in there. Maybe it's the size of a building and you decide, I'm going to be Superman, pick up that building and throw it. Just make sure there's no people inside, okay? But, exactly. The last one, get back to nature. Enjoy the outdoors and get out in nature. Maybe even take your shoes off. The sensation of the ground has become unfamiliar to most of us, so the physical sensations of it can bring us into the present moment. Not to mention that it's simply fun. I love it. I actually waste more time not going outside to the patch of grass outside of my house, where just take off your shoes or just walk barefoot. I mean, since it's right outside of my house, just walk out barefoot and just wander around in there, just allow yourself to reconnect with the earth. For some, it might seem silly, but don't worry about what other people think. I think that's our biggest hang up as humans, is we worry about what other people think. And we really got to stop that. We got to stop worrying about what other people think. You know, you could miss out on some of the greatest things because you're worried, oh my God, what if they don't approve of this person, or what if they don't approve of this job, or what if they don't approve of this decision I made, or what if they don't this, that, or the other. You know, as a person who has many stories written down and many stories still floating around in my mind, I'm reminded quite often, why don't I pursue this? I've been told by a lot of independent people that I'm a pretty good writer. You know, very good from some people, even some of my old teachers. I had a teacher accuse me of plagiarism because she couldn't believe that somebody my age, I was 18 at the time, could write an article the way I did. Even though I showed all my work and showed where I got my information from. I didn't plagiarize anything. But you know what? Because I was so sensitive then, and because I had a lot of doubt in my head, I let her kill my dream. But when it comes down to it, I killed that dream. I let somebody's words work so hard on me that I took their word for it instead of trusting myself, instead of believing in my work. And even older sibling asked me, well, why didn't you report her to the principal, the dean of the school, because it was in college? And I was just like, you know what, it kind of killed my college career. I was so devastated by that I quit. I know. Now, I don't suggest that for everybody, but I like I said, I had a lot of stuff I had to work through. And, you know, life took me down a different path. And it's okay, because the path that I ended up on, probably not where I really wanted to go, but it was exactly where I needed to be. And all the people that came along in that path, I wouldn't trade for the world. So maybe it was meant to be. But it was also meant for me to tell people now. You know, 32 years later, I finally get that, you know what? I took somebody else's comments and words and let it ruin part of my life. She didn't. She was just ignorant. And it was hurtful. And people like that really should not be teachers. It's like, you know, if I had been on my game, I could have just said to her, isn't it possible that maybe you're just a good teacher and taught us how to do this? I mean, it's not my first rodeo writing an article like this. But, you know, it kind of is what it is. But we have to remove these things. Again, the phrase of the day, doubt kills dreams. Don't let somebody else's words stop you. Don't let somebody else's words put the brakes on your car. Okay, you're the one driving through this journey. This is your journey. No matter how many people come along and join us on our journey, it's still a solo journey. Because, you know, I always like to use the train metaphor, right? Like, you're the conductor. And this is your train. This is your path. Or not the conductor. You're the engineer. Okay? I always say conductor, but I think, honestly, what I've meant is you're the engineer. People are going to get on and off of this train. Some might stay. Some might become, you know, the conductors you can look at as being family and friends. You know, people that work on this train. That keep this train functional. The food services people, the drink bar, or the cocktail car. The conductors, the baggage people, the different, train stations that you pull in and out of. But you're the engineer. You're the one driving this train. You're the one making sure where it goes, if it stops. So you deserve to have the right people on your journey. It took me in a different direction than I ever thought I was going to go. I had big plans for myself when I was young. And I've had to resolve those things in my heart and in my mind. But writing is a career that has no age on it. Really, no career has an age on it. Well, I guess some do, because, you need your skills. But, I know a person that I used to work with that, he was an analyst for the company I worked with, but he was also a lawyer. But he wasn't, he liked, I think he was, I don't know what kind of lawyer, like a business lawyer, tax lawyer or something, but he was a lawyer. And he was able to help he did a lot of work with the military, offering his services for free because he kept up his dues. He stayed in the bar. He would redo whatever testing and exams he had to do. He didn't quit, even though that wasn't his job anymore. but he took something, a degree that he earned, and used it to help other people while earning a living doing something else. You know, and when I first found out that he was a lawyer, I was like, wait, what? How do I feel like I don't know you anymore? Like, all of a sudden, you're just this different person. But they weren't. So, don't give up on your dreams. Don't let doubt kill your dreams. Don't let other people's unkind words stop you on your path. Kick them off the train. Oh, sorry, you don't have a ticket? You're out. You know, don't be afraid to remove people that don't add to your life, that don't bring anything to your life. We often look for validation in other people because we can't find the validation in ourselves. And that's doubt. That's where doubt, I mean, in my perspective, that's where doubt is. Doubt is telling you, no, you can't do it. But you can. And you have to believe that. So, this is our healing card, Entrapment. You know, I've never had this card. For the 2 years I've owned this deck, I've not ever had this card. Entrapment. You see that guy? Yeah, that's the plague guy. The plague guy. But, alright, let's read about this one, because this is new to me. You were letting... Ooh! Okay. Alright, you saw me shuffling, right? You saw this card fly out of the deck. Now, if you've been paying attention the whole time, this is probably going to send your head spinning. You are letting too many things in your environment control your life. Doubt kills dreams. You have drawn this card because it is time for a shift in personal power. You are encouraged to take responsibility for your life and choose new ways of thinking that create change. The reality is that for you to make the changes you want, need, and desire, you need a system, daily discipline, and motivation. As long as you blame outside influences for any circumstances in your life, you are powerless. We just talked about that. It's the government, your abusive background, the interest rates, and the bank's fault. The system that many ultra-successful people use is they read books every day, listen to audios, go to as many seminars as they can, practice recognizing others' achievements, and form relationships with like-minded people. So the action for this is, ask yourself, are the people in my life building me up and inspiring me? If not, it is time to take charge and start making change in your environment. Your first step could be cutting out all negative media from your daily life, or people, boundaries. We just talked about that. Another important action could involve changing your diet, cutting out sugar food with MSG and GMO, and replacing them with fresh organic vegetables. Take a moment and say the following statement to yourself or out loud. I am in control of my life. Nothing can affect me unless I choose to let it. My thoughts create my reality. That's it right there. My thoughts create my reality. I have a sign right there that says it is my mind that creates my experiences. I am unlimited in my own ability to create the good in my life. And right here it says, my thoughts create my reality. So, are you complaining about noisy people around you? It's possible that when you do that, you are attracting it to you. You're sitting there going, I hope I don't get this. I hope I don't get this. I hope I don't get this. But you're going to get that because instead of saying, this is what I really want, for example, I really want quiet neighbors. Instead, you're saying, I hope I don't get noisy neighbors. And what the universe is hearing, get noisy neighbors. Because it hears the last part. How we put things out to the universe, to the higher powers, to whoever your source is the vibration we're going to get back. When we struggle with a vibration and we struggle putting out exactly what it is that we need in our lives, when we add that doubt to it, when we forget that our thoughts create our reality, we are going to get exactly what we're putting out there. And yeah, it's hard. Do you deserve it? No. But you know what? The universal law of attraction, it's like I said, you may not believe in it, but it believes in you. It's a vibration. It is an invisible vibration that we cannot see that really does exist. Oh, I hope tomorrow's the most wonderful day in the whole world. And you go to sleep feeling, oh yeah, tomorrow's going to be so great, so great, so great. And maybe it is. Or you go to sleep saying, tomorrow's going to be the best day ever, blah, 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 blah. Oh, but I have this I have to do. I have that I have to do. I have yada, yada, yada. And then you wake up and you're probably not in your best mood. And why? Because you put that out there. When you have a higher power, it could be them teaching you the lesson. Learn to change your thinking. Doubt kills dreams. Doubt kills a lot of things. It doesn't have to be just dreams. It kills good days. It kills good moments. Because instead of just appreciating what it is that you have, you're waiting for that other shoe to drop. That's me. I'm always waiting for the other shoe to drop, but I'm trying to stop that. It's right here. It is, we blame the government, abusive backgrounds, the interest rates, the bank's fault. It's sometimes our brain or our dinged up mental health. If you have a dinged up mental health like me, sometimes moving past when it says, the abusive background, that I don't think belongs in here as something to blame, because that can really be detrimental to people. But that's how we have to learn to move past it. And I did that. I was able to do that after years and years and years, decades really, of wallowing in that pain. I was able to move forward. And I knew I had to get back into therapy because I don't want to go backwards. I want to keep moving forward. And that's what we have to remind ourselves, that we are deserving. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in the entrapment. Don't get trapped. Don't get trapped in the old way of thinking. Don't get trapped in, the way of thinking that got you through certain things, but you don't need it anymore. We make our lives better by believing in ourselves. And yeah, it's not always easy. It can be super duper hard, but when you practice it, when don't listen to the lies in your brain. Okay, I'm going to just say it one more time. Doubt kills dreams. Doubt kills hope. Doubt kills trust. Doubt kills faith. They had, if you go back to the Bible, right? They had doubting Thomas, and who didn't trust. I think that's the one where Jesus showed him by walking on water, right? Now some people are probably like, oh God, religion. But you know what? It doesn't matter. People have to listen to me talk about the metaphysical side. People get to hear me talking about, the disciples and them not believing and, this, that, and the other. Or maybe it was Thomas that didn't believe Jesus when he rose from the dead. I don't remember. My Bible history is a little sketchy right now because it's been a long time since I perused it. But the point is, one of the disciples was a doubting Thomas. That's where we get that term. Don't be a doubting Thomas. You have to trust and believe. For Thomas, I think it was when Jesus rose from the dead. Whatever, okay? Whatever it was. Let's just put it this way. All the proof was standing there. But still, there was disbelief. Short of Jesus slapping him upside the head, why do we do that to ourselves? Why do we sit there and not believe that we're worth good things, that we're worthy of good things, that good things can happen? Maybe there's a house that you love, that's your favorite house in the whole world, and you think, well, I don't have the money to buy that house. Well, keep shooting yourself in the foot. Because you never know. You never know what can happen. You have to believe with every ounce of your being that you deserve a beautiful life. Think about all the self-help books, right? If you're one of those people like me that reads like 1,000 self-help books, not everything in a self-help book hits me between the eyes. But I take things from here and there and everywhere. And it formulates its own kind of book in my head, its own little library. This is what I need to pull from. And yet still, there's doubt in my head. But why? Because maybe bad things happened before? No. When we move past things, we need to keep past it. Don't keep revisiting, okay? If something bad happened to you and you've been on that healing journey and you're like, okay, I'm done with that. I'm closing the door on it. Lock the door. Throw away the key. Put it in a mental vault where somebody else has the code. You don't have the code. You can't open it anymore. It's behind you. It's gone. That onion has been peeled all the way and you don't need to think about it anymore. Yeah, sometimes, like I said, yesterday or the day before in the perspective I talked, you might pass the vault or the file cabinet or whatever every so often and think, oh, or maybe it will trigger you from time to time, but you'll know how to deal with it. You'll know how to move forward from it. And that's what we have to keep doing. We have to keep moving away from doubt and keep moving towards hope and trust and having faith. We have to learn to love ourselves. That's what self-care is all about. It's about not being, trapped, right? It's about not falling into that entrapment of not believing, of blaming everything else. Today was the first time I ever admitted that it was, although a professor should not have said what they said to me and not accuse me of that without any proof. But the fact that I wrote very well at that young of an age. I was writing stories since I was like 8 or 9. I was writing poems since I was about 8. I mean, they were childish ones when I was little. But I mean, I didn't just pop into this class, without any skills behind me. I took classes in high school for this I took creative writing classes for this stuff. I paid attention in English because that was my favorite class. That and history. But I knew my skills, and I let somebody else talk me into something because I didn't believe in myself. When we believe in ourselves, rejection, incorrect criticism's good. You need people to look at your stuff and say, well, but that doesn't mean it should stop you. Get more than one opinion, and so I admitted to myself today that I was powerless against their words. I was powerless against their words. And you know what? I'm not anymore. So let's believe in ourselves. Let's trust ourselves. Let's open ourselves up to the possibility of all wonderful and good things because we are worthy of it. And if you're sitting there going, no, I'm not, then you need to rewatch this again. You need to start taking care of yourself. You need to become self-aware. Focus in and zero in on that self-care and that self-love. Self-care leads to such an incredible feeling of self-love. And self-love, it's not narcissism. It's a chosen trait. You're choosing to be kind to yourself, to be good to yourself, to remove whatever doesn't serve your life, whatever doesn't bring joy and happiness into your life, because you deserve that. Self-care is necessary. Okay? There's the term. Self-care is not selfish. It is necessary. All right? Self-care is not selfish. It is necessary. And remember the last thing, which is what I'm going to finish on. Doubt kills dreams. Doubt kills dreams. Don't let doubt kill your dreams. Don't let doubt kill your soul and your spirit. Don't listen to the lies in your head. Listen to the truth and the wonderful words of your heart. The brain lies to protect us sometimes. I don't think that's for everybody. That's my perspective. That's been my experience. My brain has lied to protect me, but protect me from what? Right? It doesn't protect you from pain because you still feel that. The pangs of loneliness, right? Oh, well, you don't want to get into just as an example, you don't want to get into a relationship because what if they break up with you, or what if it doesn't work out? But then you're sitting over here going, but but what if it does work out? And even if it doesn't work out, what about all the good times you will probably have in that relationship? With that person who could end up being your person. But we listen to our brain. I've been listening to my brain for far too long. And I need to start listening to my heart. So, don't think I'm just preaching at you. Okay, I'm not just standing on my soapbox talking to you. I am talking to me as well. Right? When we point, 3 fingers are pointing back at us. So, this is stuff I go through too. These are things I struggle with. Which is why really I think renaming the show to the Aloha Perspective is probably the best thing I've ever done for this show, because it is a perspective. And I share my own perspective to help other people maybe kind of settle in and really look at theirs, to get our own perspective on each of our own lives. Sometimes when we see what somebody else is doing, it's not about if they're doing it better. It's about saying, you know what? Something they're talking about really kind of resonates with me, so I think I'll try it. I've done that. Sometimes I live on YouTube listening to people just talking. I got back at Thanksgiving, baby siblings Boo gave me a great pep talk. I mean, it was worthy of a TED Talk. All right, it was probably better than some of the TED Talks I've ever seen. But we just, when people can see something in you that you can't see, and they're very adamant about seeing it or making you see it, maybe you need to pay attention to them and listen. Because, if you do have a higher power, if you do have a source or a guide, they're bringing people into your life to tell you these things, to show you these things, because you're not listening to them. All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Okay, please. I know I say that a lot, and especially on Self-Care Wednesdays, but do try to take care of yourselves. Don't let other people's harmful words tear you down. And if they have, and you've gotten to this place where you can't see your worth, start telling yourself how worthy you are. Write it in a book. Write it in a journal. Even if you have to write it down 10 times, 3 different times a day. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy. I am loved. I am lovable. I am loving. Like on the chalkboard. I will not do this again. So just write it down. Doubt kills dreams. Do you want to keep killing your dreams, or do you want to believe in yourself? Believe in who you are. Believe that you are worthy of all wonderful things in this world. Because I think that's what we should do. I think we should believe that we are worthy of wonderful things in this world. All right. So again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Please, please, please take care of yourselves. I'll see you back here tomorrow for either self-awareness card number 33 or things to think on Thursday. It might end up being a things to think on Thursday. But yeah, just go at it, practice these things. All right. Practice confidence. Practice saying nice, kind things to yourself. If you start saying something nasty to yourself, say nope and replace it with something positive. Flip the narrative. All right. The more you do it, the more practice you get, the easier it becomes. It may be hard at first. I get it. Okay. I get it. But it does get easier the more you practice it. And you really do start believing it the more you practice it. So I'll see everybody back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelley Marie Lucas, or you can catch the replay on YouTube or my Facebook page, both under the Aloha Perspective. I also post these to Twitter, so, if you err on any of those, you're probably going to run into these videos. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging in there. And remember, be kind to yourself. Have a great day.